Working President Ishwar Kandre ji, Rohan Gupta ji, all other people on the dais, and more importantly, my friends and colleagues from the social media department of the Karnataka Congress Party. Good afternoon. I know I'm standing between you and lunch. The next agenda is lunch. So I don't want to take too much time. Rohan Gupta ji had asked me to talk to you a little bit about social media, some of the ways we can improve, and some of the new things that we can do. So I will try and keep my talk only to this point. Now, unfortunately, I'm not a good Kannada speaker, so if there is any specific point that is not clear, then I will request my colleague Vijay Matiketi ji to translate. Now, this is a very, very important group in the party. In my view, it's one of the most important groups in the party. Social media is no more a new thing. It is the thing. Social media is perhaps the most important function of the Congress Party today, and I will explain why. Of course, through social media, everybody has their own communication channel. More importantly, they go directly to the voters or to people. You are not dependent on television channel or a newspaper or a journalist or an editor, you go directly. So everybody knows this. The Congress Party was a bit slow to adopt social media. I remember 2009 Lok Sabha elections, we did not really have much of a social media presence. We have now caught up. We are now on par and better than our opponents in social media. There is also some criticism now from the other side, which is we spend too much time on social media and don't do real politics. But that is a good thing from a social media perspective. Social media is very, very critical. But in my view, I think there are three areas where we as a party can improve within the social media domain. The first is, what is social media? Social media means there are many mediums: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, ShareChat. The Congress Party's social media focus has been more towards Twitter so far and less towards the other platforms. And ever since Rohan Gupta ji took over, I know he has tried to bring about a balance. WhatsApp is perhaps the most important and powerful social media platform today. And we as a party can do better in that medium. I know Rohan Gupta ji is also embracing new platforms, TikTok, for example, ShareChat, Instagram. These are all new platforms that have started to really grow. And it is very, very important that we as a party strike a balance across all these platforms. The second area where we can improve, in my view, is on the content side, just as Rohanji mentioned. The content somehow has been a little bit centralized and a little bit urban focused. I remember as soon as Rohanji took over, he came and met me and we had a discussion. This was the first thing that we both agreed upon, where we said the content, which means what we say, how we communicate on these social media platforms, should now be much, much more regional language and much more localized. So what I'm doing now is bad because I'm speaking to you in English, correct? If I'm speaking to you in Kannada, this would be so much more better received. The same rule applies for social media platforms also. So our content can now be more localized and more specific to that geography. All of you listen to FM radio. What is the difference between FM radio and television? In FM radio, if you are in Bangalore or Mysore or Chikmagalur, you can get different local messages. But in television, in NDTV, you can only get one. That is the same power, in fact, even greater power, lies with social media platforms. So we have to learn to localize our content and put it in the local language. Now, the third part, which is my domain and which is where I think is very, very important, is around targeting and personalization. I'm going to give you an example. So let's say Hasiba is here on stage. Now, let us say Hasiba receives 2 WhatsApp messages. The first WhatsApp message says, "Today evening we have a protest at Shaheen Bagh in Delhi." The second WhatsApp says, "Dear Hasiba, you are in Vasant Nagar, Bangalore today. In the evening, we have a Mahila, a women march, protest march today." Which message do you think Hasiba is going to read more and forward more? Second one? Why? Because it addresses her by name. It knows that she is Hasiba. It knows that she is a woman. It knows that she is in Bangalore. It knows that she is in Vasant Nagar. It knows she will participate in a protest against the government. This is what I mean by personalization and targeting. If this is not clear, then I will ask Vijay to translate. Is it clear or should he translate in Kannada? Clear? So then you will ask me, how do we know? How do we personalize? You have Hasiba's phone number. So you send a message. But from that, how do you know this phone number belongs to Hasiba? She's a woman. She's in Bangalore. And she will join a protest. This is where the data part comes. Today, we have enough data that we have collected through various methods, including Shakti, which most of you may remember. And Karnataka was one of the best performers in the Shakti project. We have 15 lakh. In fact, Vijay was telling me we have 15 lakh members in Karnataka, spread across 46,000 booths. And in 20,000 booths, we have more than 10 people. In a booth, we have more than 10 people. We know their name, we know their age, we know their gender, we know their address, we know their phone number. So imagine if you can take this data and you form WhatsApp groups. Rohanji is constantly pushing all of you to form local WhatsApp groups at the booth level, ward level, district level. So you take this data and you start forming WhatsApp groups. You can now form a WhatsApp group for, let's say, booth number 120 in Mysore with 50 people. You know all their names, not just their phone numbers. You know their names, you know their age, you know their gender, you know their house number. You can then start sending them messages, like how we sent a message to Hasiba about protest, correct? This is the most powerful way of communicating. Every person wants a message that is personal, relevant. If I just say, hello, here, versus if I say, call him by his name, he'll more likely respond, correct? So the personalization is very important, and we have enough data today in the party, which belongs to the party, which is for use by the social media department. So today, I'm going to announce that we will make this 15 lakh data available for the Karnataka social media team as a start. Rohan Gupta ji will decide who will get access, how to use this data. And Vijay Matikatti here will be the point of contact for all of this data. So from now on, let us resolve to make our social media communication even more powerful, even more personalized, even more targeted. And we can do that using the data that we already have. Not just that, the other data that we have is, if you want to know booth number 120 in Mysore, who are the voters there? What is the caste composition? How did we do in the local body elections, in the Vidhan Sabha elections, in that particular booth? All of this data is available in one system. So this data will be made available, and I really encourage and hope all of you can make the best use of this, and to ensure that social media will lead the Congress party's revival and return to government, not just in Karnataka, but all India. Jai Hind, Jai Congress.